Hello Pisces, I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com and this is your April 2020 reading. Um, Pisces, I have a half price sale every weekend now, and so one selected reading is going to be in the half price sale each weekend. If you've got any ideas of readings that you would like to be in that half price sale, then please in the comments let me know which ones you want, and I'll consider putting those in the sale. So you can always find out on the weekends which reading is in the sale by looking at my website, behealing.com, or watching my videos. There'll be links in my videos, my daily videos and my weekly videos for those as well. So let's have a look, Pisces. What's going on for you in April? What's the story in April for you? Okay, so first of all, we've got face the situation and up until now, Pisces. And so this is about the past. This is about facing the past. Now, I'm feeling for some of you that there's going to be some consequences coming through for you of past actions and past decisions that you've made. I'm not feeling that these are massive consequences for a lot of you. Well, it could be for some of you, but not really grave consequences, but there are some consequences coming through. And so this could be things like your health, how you've been looking after yourself, maybe what you've been focused on. These might be patterns, these might be subconscious patterns, things that you've been doing out of habit that you haven't really questioned. You know what I mean? It's like maybe things to do with your health. Maybe this is things like drinking and smoking. This could be things like not exercising. This could be things like making poor choices in your work, or staying around people that you shouldn't be around, or not listening to your intuition. This could be all kinds of things, right? But there are some choices that you've been making and you've been making over and over again, Pisces, that now you're facing the consequences of that. So you're getting some ramifications of it. As I said, I'm feeling for a lot of you, this isn't like major ones. Like this isn't huge for some of you. It might be huge for some of you, but for the majority of you, Pisces, watching this, it's not going to be huge. But you are going to have to pay attention to them, because when the universe wants to get in touch with us, when it wants to give us some guidance, then it gives us signs. And those signs, they start off really small, right? And then when we don't listen, when we just carry on in those patterns unconsciously or sometimes consciously, we just keep on doing those same things instead of making better decisions for ourselves, those signs have got to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is why I'm saying, like, for the majority of you, these consequences aren't going to be huge, but for some of you, it might be, because for some of you, the consequences of your actions might have started off small and they might have got bigger and bigger. For example, let me give you an example here. So if you've been eating a really poor diet and you think it's okay to do that, and you've had a few, maybe putting on weight and stuff, that was the small, consequences. And then like illnesses coming from that, or even like joint pain or stuff from putting on weight, and that's like bigger consequences. And then like maybe not being able to work because of that, bigger consequences, and diabetes with bigger consequences. And then how it escalates like that, and it's things like this. It's that you're faced with now, or that you need to be facing now, because the consequences are escalating for you. So that's just an example. I'm not saying that it's true for all of you. It's just an example that I think we can all see around us in certain people. This, as I said, this could, the situation that you need to face, it could be anything, it could be choices in relationships, it could be all kinds of things. So consequences are happening in April, Pisces, to wake you up, This is normal life, but it's just that this month that your higher selves want to alert you to this as well, so that you don't just carry on in those same patterns. It's the definition of insanity, isn't it? It's doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. And so now you're being asked to look at the past and the choices you've been making. This is about taking responsibility for your life, Pisces, and the choices that you make. It's not right that we should be able to keep on making poor decisions for ourselves and have someone else to look after us, It's like we shouldn't be able to keep on making poor financial decisions and then have the government look after us. We shouldn't be able to keep on making poor health decisions and then have doctors look after us. We've got to take personal responsibility, and it's up to you to take personal responsibility now. Same with relationships. We shouldn't be able to keep on making poor relationship choices and then, blaming other people for problems that come up in relationships. It's that kind of thing. And so apply this to how it applies to your life, Pisces. Bit of a wake up call. And so just notice, maybe sit in meditation, Pisces, this month to ask yourself, what is it? What is it that I've been getting signs about that I've been ignoring? What are these escalating signs that I've been ignoring? You don't want it to escalate even more, and so now is the time to face up to those things. The universe is trying to wake you up. Where is this headed? Let's see where this is headed in April. Because I'm feeling like you've got like a perfect opportunity now to address these things, and it doesn't have to be a long journey, Even if it's something like that example that I gave. Diabetes can be reversed in 2 months. It's not true that you should be able to keep on eating the wrong foods and be okay. It can be reversed by eating the right foods, and it only takes a couple of months to do that. For example, that is. So this is leading Pisces to, okay, you're vulnerable. You've allowed yourself to get vulnerable with the choices that you've been making, which is why these consequences are escalating now. And this isn't about perfectionism, so this is an ego response to this. Like I was picking up on some of those ego responses saying, well, I should be able to eat this normal food. It's not normal food. That junk food is not normal food, or I should be able to not exercise and still be healthy, that kind of thing, that the ego chirps in saying, I should be able to do this and not suffer the consequences, which isn't true. But then there's this other level of ego saying, oh, you're saying that I should be perfect. It's not about that. Say, for example, if it's a weight thing, it's not about being super skinny to superficially look good. It's about feeling good, and it's about being healthy, And so this could be another ego response to it saying, it's not true. I should be able to love my body as it is. It's not true that I should, be perfect, and you shouldn't expect me to be perfect. That's an ego response, right? Because this is about your health. If that particular scenario and example applies to you, but that's just, as I said, that's just an example. I'm not saying that applies to all of you, of course. So just be careful of that. So the ego will want to make an excuse, as in it's not your responsibility, you should be able to keep doing it without the consequences. That's not true. The consequences will escalate because you've made yourself vulnerable. The other layer of the ego is to protest it, saying that you shouldn't need to be perfect. This isn't about perfectionism. This is about being the best version of yourself. Now, I think I know where this is leading to, but I'm going to ask the cards, because to me this feels like this is leading you to the universe wanting the best for you and the best from you, and you can't be at your best unless you're looking after yourself properly. You can't be on your true life path. You can't be doing what you're here to do in the world to the utmost level unless you're looking after yourself first, because the universe always asks for balance, right? And so this is asking you to meditate on what those sabotages are, because they are sabotages, and those sabotages are leaving you vulnerable. And it's time to really wake up to those escalating signs that you're getting that are showing you that you've left yourself vulnerable through not taking responsibility of something in your life. This could be in a couple of areas of your life anyway. And it's up to you to have the courage to face that now and to quiet that ego down in meditation. Quiet that ego down that's trying to avoid taking responsibility for that. Remember, this isn't about perfectionism. This is about stopping you from being vulnerable now. And that means you being strong, right? You being empowered, you being strong, you taking control of your life, you doing the best for yourself, so that then you can give your best to the universe as well, because you've got an important role, Pisces. You've got an important role here. And the year 2020 is all about you stepping into that role and you doing what you came here to do. You've got to be in the best of health and the best of emotional patterns, and then the best relationships and all of that. Well, you need to be going in that direction, doing that inner work on yourself, taking responsibility for it, for you to step up in that direction. You know, I see it in entrepreneurs. You know, it's when we start really getting fit, looking after our bodies, getting in really good patterns, you know, healing ourselves. That's when we can really start flying as entrepreneurs. And you see it over and over again. Read any entrepreneur's book about it, and you'll see we have really good morning routines, really positive, empowered. And that's not the perfectionist thing. That is so that you can function at a high level. Because why not? Why wouldn't you want to function at a high level? And so meditate on what those sabotages could be for you. Now, as you're watching this video, it could be really apparent to you, and it might be causing a little bit of guilt or shame or something like that, a little bit of an adverse. You might even be hating on me now, thinking that I'm calling you out on something, and that it's wrong for me to do that again. That's the ego trying to protect you, trying to keep the status quo and keep you in that rut that you've got in. So meditate to get through all of that ego stuff, those ego reactions, to find out what is at the core of your sabotages. And because there's a reason that we do these sabotages, and it's the unhealed part of ourselves that causes that. You know, like for me, it was drinking alcohol. I was drinking alcohol like all the time. I was using it to get over like a social anxiety, but it was because I hadn't healed myself that I needed to do that, or I felt that I needed to do that. And any attempt at trying to stop before I'd healed myself was just impossible. And then it was hard enough once I'd healed myself, right? And then once I'd healed myself, there was a few more layers to heal just through those patterns that I'd been doing. So what I'm trying to say about this is, whatever it is that you've been doing to sabotage yourself, it's an ego reaction to protect you. It's a mechanism that you're using maybe to numb out to what you're feeling. There is some healing to do that's behind that, and so meditation will help you get there. Where is this leading to? Maybe getting support. I can feel it. That's the next thing coming up now. Well, yeah, you could need support in this, get some help. There's all kinds of healers out there. And I'm not talking about voodoo, whatever. I'm talking about a healer helping you to heal yourself, helping you to get to the root of these causes, helping you to cleanse these properly. And this is saying it's simpler than you think. It's not like a deep, dark pit of despair within you, like a merry-go-round, something that you'll never get to the end of. It's not that. You can get to the end of it. And so maybe you've dipped your toe in this healing before, or maybe you've done a lot of it already and it's still persisting. And I know, like I'm 49 now. I quit the drinking 2 years ago. I'm not completely quit because luckily I wasn't addicted to the actual substance, and so now I can drink occasionally, every couple of weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know, I can't even remember the last time I had a drink. But now it doesn't control me anymore, and you can get to that stage too. But it took me a long time to get there. It really did take me a long time to get there. But the process is simpler than you think. It just takes repeated actions to cleanse and to face these things that need healing within you. Because the universe wants the best for you and from you, Pisces. It really does. So this is a massive healing month for you. April is a massive healing month for you. And I'm feeling like any Pisces that aren't facing these things, as I said, those ramifications, those signs, those consequences of these sabotages are going to be escalated. Which is the usual way of the world. That's the way our higher selves get through to us if we're not listening. If we're not listening to the signs, those signs escalate until it gets to the point of real health problems. It's generally, that's the last call of action, because it's health problems that stop us in our tracks, right? That put us in hospital and stop us from being able to carry on and function. So let's go back through this, Pisces. This is the month. April 2020 is the month to face the situation of what you've been doing to yourself up until now. This can be all kinds of patterns, but it's things like addictions. It's things like choices that you're making for yourself that are detrimental to you. It may be emotional patterns that you've got, relationship patterns that you've got, choosing the wrong kind of people, that kind of thing. It could be, but the root cause behind all of them is the same thing as something that needs to be healed. Something that needs to be healed within you is causing that. And so it's the stuff you've been doing in the past. So I'm feeling like there's a reprieve from it at the moment in April for you to face these things. Repercussions have escalated. Those signs have got bigger. And it's time to stop ignoring them now and to actually face that you have had those signs and you do know what it's about. You really do. I mean, you can ignore it as much as you like, but you do know what it's about because you've left yourself vulnerable and it leaves you vulnerable, continuing in these patterns, and you don't want to be vulnerable. You want to be your strongest, most powerful self, Pisces, so that you can take your place on this planet and do what you came here to do. Because a lot of you are leaders and it's time to snap out of this, and that you've got to watch out for the ego wanting to be a victim, wanting to hand over responsibility to other people, thinking that you should be able to keep on with those patterns and be okay because there's a doctor somewhere that should come up with a pill so that you can carry on doing these things that harm you, and this pill just like takes it all away. It's not. There's not, Pisces. And then there's the other level of the ego saying, you're asking me to be perfect and I shouldn't need to be perfect. So there's the resistance, all kinds of resistance to these changes. And it's because your ego wants to protect you. It wants to keep the status quo. As much as the status quo is harming you, carrying on with these things is harming you, the ego still wants to keep you there. It's not protecting you, right? It's causing further harm to you. It's causing you to be even more vulnerable. But the ego thinks that it wants to keep you in your comfort zone, right? So sometimes it's more comfortable to be in this state of vulnerability than it is to actually empower yourself. And because we're scared of change. The ego is scared of change. So I'm not asking you to be perfect here. The universe isn't asking you to be perfect. It's not saying don't love yourself as you are, because if you love yourself as you are, that is the jumping off point to releasing these things and to making changes. So just watch out for that tricky ego that's going to try and stop you. It's going to come up with excuses for you not to do this. But I'm really feeling like this. You'll be checking out of your own life if you do that. You're going to be jumping off track to your life purpose if you do that. So meditate in April, Pisces, meditate on these sabotages, on these patterns. Even if everyone around you has got those patterns, which is likely true because that's the way the law of attraction works, right? We have confirmation bias. All of those around us are all doing the same thing, so we think it's normal and we think we should be able to do that, and it's normal. That's normal. That's what human beings do, but it's not true, right? It's not true. If I thought that, then everyone would be training twice a day. But I know that's not true. I know not everyone's doing the same thing as me, right? But I know people that are doing the same as me too. So I've got a bit of confirmation going on there myself. And so it's okay to be different, Pisces, and it's very good to lead the way as well. I was picking up on that you've got a leadership role to step into now, and you can lead the way. You can lead the way for other people that are sabotaging themselves in the same way as you are. If you step up to this responsibility to it now, meditation is going to help you to break free from those ego excuses that it's coming up with, so you can actually make those changes. And those changes, they're not as hard as you think. Once you make a clear decision, it's going to be really easy. It wasn't hard for me to quit drinking alcohol. It wasn't hard at all. Once I'd made that decision, it wasn't hard. But you've got to make that clear decision to actually do it. So it's going to be simpler than you think to let go of these things. But the tricky bit is going to be the internal healing. It's going to be healing those things that were causing you to do it in the first place. And so these sabotage patterns that we do, Pisces, it's to numb out, it's to not feel something, it's to not feel something that isn't healed within us. And so when you drop that pattern, that's the stuff that's going to come up. And so get support in healing that. There's plenty of resources for that. And it's going to be simpler than you think. It's not as huge and monumental task as you think it is. It's quite simple to let go of those things. You just need to do it. You just need to get that motivation within yourself, that determination within yourself to actually make a decision to do it. And then the universe will just put the easiest solutions in front of you. It always works like that, right, Pisces? So, wow, Pisces, very important month for you, April 2020, to get you going on your life path. This is the getting prepared for it part. And it's seriously, you're being asked to step up now, Pisces. Step up now from your old life and these old patterns and do something good for yourself and then the world. But you don't need to do something good for the world first. You need to do something good for yourself first. Remember, put your oxygen mask on first, Pisces. You need to sort yourself out first before you can do it for the rest of the world. You're being called to step up, Pisces. If you like this reading, please click like and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment. How does that apply to you? How does that resonate with you? I'd love to hear from you. If you've got friends that you think could get value out of my readings too, please share my channel with them. I'd be very appreciative of you doing that. Don't forget, I have half-price reading sales every weekend on behealing.com. Have an awesome month, Pisces. Come along to behealing.com if you want some help with that healing work as well. And I'll see you next time. Bye.